almost daily.
Yes. Hi, how are you?
What struck me most when I listened to you is that when I think that ICRC is active in more than 80 countries of the world, each and every conflict is distinct and different from one another. But then there are communalities. As you said yourself, and I appreciate very much those concerns, your fears are the fears on the other side of the front line. And your concerns are the concerns on the other side of the front lines. And it's very much the impression I have today coming from Gaza, that I see victims here in Israel this morning when I visited the hospital in Askelat. I saw victims on the other side, and victims look the same. I talked to victims yesterday on what they experienced from the shelling. I talked to you and I hear you today, and what victims say is the same.
Even you can, just coming from Gaza, we have the numbers of casualties there, and here in Israel we are lucky enough not to have this number of casualties, but yet they wanted to share with you their fear, and me, of course, as a decision maker, the fact that you cannot leave our citizens in a situation in which they are need to use to this kind of fear.
הטילים התרגלנו כבר, וזה גם קשה, אבל המנורות זה נושא חדש, לא יודע מתי יצא לכם מכוון מתחת לאדמה.
The tunnels are much more intimidating than the missiles, to the missile we got used to, even though it's a problem. But we don't know when and from where the terrorists will come from underground towards us.
I invite you to my house, to my home, and I can show you where the tunnel was. Because everybody knows, and I hope you know also, that these tunnels are not made for peace. And it's really, really hard to continue our normal life. Sorry. Thank you.
As a young mother, my daughter is 1 year old. I understand the fear of the Gaza people, a young mother exactly like me, who has to protect herself and to suffer from the bombing. We have, as civilians, exactly the same fears.
Magen Adom teams, as you know, are providing medical transportation for Palestinians from Gaza to Israeli hospitals in the pretty much in the daily manner. And the teams that are assigned to these tasks are the teams that work in Sderot and in Ashkelon, and they do it knowing that this is our duty and this is what we are aimed to do.